Hey, it's Shawn with Kiwi. Welcome back to our series on tarping. Now that we've got the rear part done and possibly the front part depending on how you're doing, it's time to tuck up the side of the tarp. So there's a couple of different ways you can do that. You can either completely finish up your back tarp and then apply the front tarp, or if you're in a situation where it's difficult to get on top of the load, you might want to spread both tarps out while you're up there so that once you get down you don't have to get back up again. So we've got just the rear tarp on here now, and if I were going to finish up the whole rear tarp, then what I want to think about is there's a bunch of this that's going to be overlapped by the other tarp, and an easy way to determine how much that overlap is going to be is if you look at the front part of your load and you see how much load is exposed up there, then once you've got that second tarp on, it's going to cover all but that same amount of space on the rear of the tarp. So if we've got 6 feet of load exposed up there, then we're going to be 6 feet of load exposed back here. So we can fully fasten this part of the tarp, and then the rest of this tarp we can just tuck it up and do the bare minimum just to keep it from falling down while we put up the second tarp. One of the things to consider if you're doing that technique where you're doing the rear tarp first and then going to put the front one over is if you have bungees hooked into this, the tip of these hooks could cause damage to your tarp that's over the top. So one of the ways you can fight that is when you get this tucked up, don't hook your bungees to the tarp, hook them to the trailer instead. And here's where having some longer bungees comes into play. But here we're able to hook up to these stake pockets here, and now we don't have any hardware underneath that upper tarp. So that's basically what it should look like when you're ready to put the front tarp on and cover this all up. We've just done minimal securement, just enough to keep that from falling down.